You're listening to the Telltale Channel. If you like what I do and you want to see me continue to do it, don't forget to check out my Patreon. I just finished writing a book titled Was Hitler an Atheist? It talks about religions during the Third Reich and how they work together. Catholics, Jehovah's Witnesses, and Protestants. And I even address the lies told by the evangelical world about Bonhoeffer. It's on Audible and Amazon. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? We're on stream, so everyone can hear you,
Yes.
by the way.
Yes, awesome. And everyone can hear you. Okay, perfect. We figured it out. I would like to do StreamYard, but, you know, I got a complicated system I got to set up. So tell me, why do you support Trump?
I mean, there's really multiple reasons. Why don't you support Trump? Really.
Because, oh God, I asked you first. Give me one.
One reason, he lowered taxes. He's deporting illegal immigrants that are, taking our insurance plans, like the one in California, the Medi-Cal program, where illegal alien immigrants can get, health care. I think that money should be used for Americans to have health care.
But he raised taxes, didn't he, with tariffs? Isn't a tariff a tax?
Well, you can avoid tariffs. I mean, you don't have to buy Chinese products. And I thought the Democrats said that iPhones were going to be like $3,000 or $4,000. The new iPhone just came out.
You know that, like, everything that we buy has some connection to the outside world, right? Like, the apples that we buy or the oranges we get from Florida are picked using equipment that is serviced with parts from China. So even, like, Florida oranges are more expensive. It's literally impossible to buy all American in this economy. You know that, right?
Well, first off, I live in Florida. I haven't seen a price rise for oranges. What's that, Dusty? You want to say something?
Sorry?
You thought illegals were picking our crops, you said?
Oh, you're talking to your chat, right?
No, I'm talking to the other fellow that was in the video that you made about us.
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
The guy with the long beard, Dusty? It was just a week ago.
Destiny, yeah. I'm familiar with Destiny.
Not Destiny, Dustly, not Destiny.
Oh, okay.
Not the PDF guide, Destiny.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm not sure which one.
Having child content on his, computer.
Okay, I don't know anything about it, but yeah, Florida oranges are picked using tractors that are produced in other countries. Literally every piece of our supply chain, every single piece has imports from somewhere. We are paying taxes in the form of tariffs. That is simply false. You are incorrect. Trump raised taxes for us.
First off, orange prices have not gone up in Florida. I live in Florida. I'm from Florida. Second off, you never debated the fact that they said like 6 months ago now the price of an iPhone was going to be $4,000.
Who is they? Are they in the room with us right now? Like, who are you even talking about?
I mean, you're a Democrat. What about why haven't iPhones raised prices?
Who said iPhones are going to raise prices?
Democrats, they were making memes all over Instagram. They were saying they were going to be $4,000.
I have no idea which specific people you're talking about or whatever, but things have gone up. Are you denying that prices have gone up?
Orange prices haven't gone up in Florida.
Okay, what about other things? Have the prices of other regular items, the price of regular things gone up? Like, are grocery prices higher? Is inflation higher? Is cost of living higher?
Cheaper in Florida. Some places, depends what state and what city. Some places in California, prices have gone up for gasoline in California.
Okay.
Because they have an added gas tax.
Oh, you've got these little things everywhere. It's everybody else's fault except for Donald Trump's fault, right?
I mean, gas prices are down. Is that Trump's fault?
Was it Joe Biden's fault when gas prices went up under him?
It was partially his fault.
But it wasn't entirely his fault, so is it Donald Trump's fault now that gas prices have gone up?
They haven't gone up. They've gone down. Look at the towing company.
Gas prices
what is it called?
Have gone
AAA?
down?
Yes, look at the towing company, AAA. They have statistics. That's my source. Gas prices, according to AAA, which, they refuel vehicles, they tow cars. It said the national average has gone down 40 cents per gallon since last year.
Bro, we don't need AAA. We have like a national price per barrel to figure out how much these things cost.
Okay, if you have any sources you'd like to give, I'm here to listen.
Are you telling me you don't believe that prices are higher today than they were before Donald Trump? Really? Is that what you're really claiming?
About what?
Prices for literally everything. Inflation's through the roof.
Gone down.
What?
Inflation has gone down.
Inflation's gone down?
It was at 9.8%. Now maybe it's around 3.5%, 4.5%.
When was it at 9%?
Probably, I would have to look at the statistics on this, but probably around 2023, 2024-ish.
So
That was when everything started to hit the fan with Biden. Are
this
we
is a
live on your stream, by the way?
yeah. We're live on my stream.
Well, just to make this clear, this is like our unofficial debate, I guess, because
Okay.
I really prefer to do like actual face-to-face
I
debates. I
prefer
don't
that
really
too. We will make that happen for sure. We will.
fantastic.
I got your
So is
email.
there
I just haven't gotten to respond to it. I promise.
I
I will get back
understand.
to you.
Can I
Yeah.
ask you one quick question though, and then
Okay.
you can ask me a question, or we can just hang up the Discord
All
call.
right.
Is there a single thing that you like that this is a Trump derangement test? Is there a single thing that you can give Trump credit for, or a single thing that you can say Trump did right? Just one thing. Doesn't mean you have to like Trump. Just say one single thing, because I can even name small things from pretty much any president in the last 20 years that's been like at least one good thing they've done.
I think he does good things a lot, but I think the things that he does are in his own interest. Like, he's at least signaled that he wants to legalize weed, and I think that's good generally. I don't see an ulterior motive
So
there
the
for
only good
him,
thing you can,
so
sorry to interrupt you.
it's
Sorry,
good.
but continue. Is there anything else?
I was gonna say there are a few other things that he's done that have been okay, but by and large, I think that his authoritarian sweep is, kind of weighs out everything good. But go ahead.
Well, we can debate about that on the official debate.
All right.
But one thing, and my friend has a question for you because he was also in the video that you made.
Okay.
But all right, go ahead. What were you going to suggest?
You talking to me?
No, I'm talking to him.
Oh, okay.
Oh, by the way, we can debate about the National Guard because that's in the Constitution, and my friend is a historian, so he can break down the Constitution to you, that specific part. But go ahead. What were you saying, Dusty? Yeah, we could chat about that during the official debate, but the only thing you can say Trump is trying to do good is legalize drugs,
And
legalize
stuff. There's other
PJ.
stuff. There are a few other things. I just don't
Can you
like that
mention one
he.
thing that doesn't involve drugs? Because listen, I'm for the legalization of MJ, but like I'm not going to sit here and say that's the best thing he's ever done.
I'm not saying it's the best thing he's ever done. You just asked me like any good thing, and I gave you a single good thing that I think is decent. But again, the dude is doing an authoritarian sweep. Like, we have literal Gestapo like running through the streets. That's unforgivable. I'm sorry. I'm just never going to support somebody that is doing like an authoritarian sweep to this degree.
So what about Obama's mass deportations? And also, one quick thing, you want to know why the tariffs haven't affected the price of iPhones? It's because iPhones only cost $15 to make, and the company is just absorbing a small profit loss, like a
That's
lot
just
of other
not true.
companies
That is
do.
factually incorrect. You mean the
I mean,
parts cost a certain amount of money to put together, but they have massive teams to write and update the software for it, and a whole bunch
yeah,
of
that's
other things all along the line. It's very
I forget
expensive
the
to
name for it,
run.
but that's for software. That's a development cost. That's not the actual physical product, but that
It's
is
part
true.
of the product. It's all one thing that costs a lot of money.
Well, why do you think that the price of iPhones haven't risen with the newest iPhone just recently coming out last month?
Well, I know that Apple moved a gigantic shipment, like massive shipping containers full of iPhones out of China at the last minute, not too long ago when the tariffs are about to hit. But I think
Are they
that
the latest version?
what?
Are they the latest version?
I'm not even sure, but I know that we are teetering on the edge of an absolute catastrophe economically, and people are already
What
suffering
indicates that
terribly.
for you? What's an indicator for that for you?
Inflation, tariffs, there are a whole bunch of different indications that I'm not an economist, but we can look at economists and see what they say about it. And they are very concerned about what is happening.
By the way, guys, check out my new shop, owenmorgan.com/shop. I have a bunch of really cool designs on there.
Yeah, my friend also has a degree in economics, and he's also has a degree in history. So if you'd like to have a panel debate, which I think is a good idea, we're not going to talk over each other. Everyone can have their times to speak, but I think it would be really good to have. Also, with the inflation rates, if you can give me one single source at maybe you don't have it offhand, but even if you can send it to me later, if you can send me one single source saying that inflation is now higher than it was under Biden, I would definitely be really interested
Okay.
in
I mean, the
reading that.
inflation obviously changes month to month, but Trump is driving inflation up and we are heading toward. We are already in a recession right now. I believe our GDP.
Not a single economist has on no news network, and and the stock market's also roaring, by the way. But not a single economist has said that we're in a recession, unless they
Well,
have
I mean,
a
GDP. If GDP shrinks by a certain amount for a certain number of consecutive months, then it's a recession, and if it continues for a number of years, then it's a depression. I think those are the definitions, and that's just happening right now. Like that's just
Well,
factual.
from what I heard, GDP per capita has definitely risen, and a lot of people I know have had raises. The fellow that's on the live stream right with me right now got a raise this
Okay, you're
year.
giving
I
me
know a couple
anecdotes
others.
here, but we can like look
Yeah,
at
but you're gonna have to show
statistics and
sources too
facts.
when we actually
Right,
debate. I mean,
right.
you can see statistics and facts, but I'm gonna need like sources for the
Okay.
actual debate.
All right, we'll pull up sources and stuff, but the fact is, mass deportations are going to lead to a shrinking GDP because people are being removed from the labor pool. That's just how it works. So obviously,
I'm not
it's
doubting
going to
that.
drop.
That's definitely possible. But the major thing is I have articles from DHS and many other sources. These articles say that on our taxpayer system that illegal immigrants are deficit by 451 billion annually. And I
That's
know you're probably thinking it sounds
that's
like a big
false.
number.
No, that's
I
false.
mean,
They pay in $400 billion in taxes per year. Undocumented immigrants do.
you don't pay 450 billion dollars in taxes. They pay 98 billion dollars per year in taxes, and
No, they
that's from
don't.
some
That's simply
legal source.
false.
Well, show me the source where it says 450 billion.
Okay, let me see if I can find it. Actually,
Let me ask you this though: how much taxes does the average illegal immigrant pay?
I'm not sure. I know you're probably wondering how do they pay taxes. The answer is
IT or ITTN. I already know, but the majority of the illegal immigrants don't pay taxes. They
that's
get
not
paid
true.
under the counter.
They can't be
It is true.
hired at a company unless they give them a number to put on paper to pay those taxes. Somebody is paying those taxes. And usually
You're
they're
telling me
putting
you've
on
never heard
a
of someone working under the table.
say again.
You've never heard of anyone working under the table before? Like you've never had a friend that worked under the table for cash?
If they do work under the table, which does happen, then the boss is paying those taxes. That's just how the tax system works. But aside from that, it doesn't matter because undocumented immigrants are putting a number down on paper. Like they put on fake social security numbers all the time. That's how it works. And the
It's actually
IRS, the
not
IRS
really
is
a fake security number that happens, but it's mostly an ITIN, which you can request from the IRS if you don't have a legal citizenship. You can pay taxes through that. I mean,
they do
they
use
don't just
that,
use
yeah. But also, I don't know if you saw this. Elon Musk a while back said that like a bunch of money was paid in to the social security number 123456789, and that's because that's the number that a lot of undocumented like people put down when they're trying to get a job because the IRS has a policy of not like investigating it because it doesn't matter as long as they're getting paid.
not 100% sure on it. I would have to fact check all that
Okay,
information.
go nuts. Yeah.
But I had one fella on here that said illegal immigrants pay an average of $15,000 per year in taxes. That's simply wrong. The majority of illegal immigrants make less than the median salary. Most of them make, about $30,000 a year. Now, this isn't all of them, but a lot of them make around $30,000 a year, maybe. There's a $15,000 standard tax deduction. So that means they're paying taxes on $15,000.
I'm not
Therefore,
sure.
they're paying roughly around $1,100 in taxes a year. For example, the Medi-Cal program, that program cost about $15,000 to $20,000 a year to insure illegal alien immigrants with health care, which is basically Medicare in California. And with that kind of income, they probably qualify. So they might be paying $1,100 a year in tax.
Look, there's an objective answer to this. Like, we don't have to kind of go all the way around in a circle to figure this out. Like, we just get an answer. Are they on healthcare? Like, I can't even get free healthcare. I don't understand why people think that there's this massive number of like immigrants getting free healthcare. It's absurd. It's not happening, first of all. And second,
It is.
I'm not sure that that's the median or that that's what they're paying in. I mean, there's an objective number. I understand the number to be 400 billion per year across undocumented immigrants. It is an entire swath of our economy that is being wiped out right now, and it's going to damage the GDP. That's the bottom line. It just is.
That $450 billion is the deficit to the taxpayer system. I've read multiple articles on this, multiple sources on it. All of them say that they're roughly paying $98 billion a year in taxes. So I don't know. You'd have to give me a source for where you're getting this $450 billion number, because I've never seen that. I mean, I think you're just confusing the deficit that they cause versus the taxes that they pay. And also, when you say illegal immigrants are simply not getting healthcare in masses. I mean, California has statistics about this. I can send it to you. It's from the Medi-Cali website. It says about 1.6 million illegal immigrants in California have this healthcare program. And all the numbers are there. And these programs are in 14 states. They are getting healthcare, and there's billions of dollars being spent on it. Do you agree with illegal alien immigrants getting healthcare? Because there's only a set budget for each state. That means that's going to be taking insurance programs away from American citizens, because only a certain amount of people can get it.
The fact is, overall, immigration is beneficial to any society. There is literally no reason to be opposed to immigration, except one that I can think of. And I have no problem with immigrants coming here and trying to follow a pathway to citizenship. And I don't see why anybody else would have a problem with that either.
If I'm legally, I have no problem. I'm not out to your beliefs, but I'm actually not really far on the right. I'm more, central right leaning. But you never really answered the question. Do you think illegal alien immigrants should be getting these healthcare programs in California when there's a set budget? That means only so many people can apply for it. The same program is used for legal citizens.
I think everybody should have healthcare in the United States. Everybody, yes.
That's an easy cop-out. You didn't answer the question.
Yes, the answer is yes. I did answer. Yes.
Okay, so you think that they should be prioritized over American citizens?
No, I think everybody should have insurance. I'm sorry, should have healthcare.
There's a set budget. That's not how the United States works.
Well, I think if we increased taxes on the filthy rich, then the budget could go up a little bit.
I'm not even going to debate you about that, but did you know, even if we taxed every single billionaire in this country to 99%, 100%, it's still not even going to pay off the national debt. It's really not.
You're talking about all of the money that they have right now at this immediate moment, or do you mean tax them every year over the course of 10 years?
Every year, 100% of their profits for literally years. It's not going to pay off.
That's just not true. I mean, it wouldn't. Of course, it wouldn't pay off the deficit. I'm not saying, or the debt. I mean, I'm not saying it should pay off the debt. But I'm saying we should tax them more. You really don't want to tax billionaires? Why not?
I mean, it depends on the specific person and
why does it depend on a specific person? They're all part of this society. We all live together in this society. We all have to pay in.
Depends how they're making money. For instance, Elon Musk last year paid the most taxes in history. He paid a tax rate when he sold his Tesla stock. He paid the highest capital gains tax rate, which is 20%. People that are in the lower class, the people that are in the bottom tax bracket, they're only paying about 10%.
Yeah, so you're saying he's paying more total or more or a higher percentage? What do you mean?
I mean, on the stock he sold, which was billions and billions of dollars, he paid 20% capital gains tax on it. And I understand there's write-offs, but there's write-offs for everyone as well.
Yeah, what's your problem with that?
Most taxes in history. Problem with what? Write-offs?
No, what's your problem with him paying taxes? Like, I want him to pay more. Why is it only 20%? Why wouldn't it be 60, 70? Let's make it.
Why would he pay? He's a self-made billionaire. Why?
We give exceptions to societal obligations to self-made billionaires?
I mean, look at other countries with 70% taxes. That does not encourage entrepreneurship or,
Bro, I would love to. Oh, are you kidding? I would love to have a system like Denmark or like any of the Scandinavian countries. Like, they know how to do it. Iceland?
Those are failed systems.
Are you kidding?
Are there more millionaires? There's more millionaires per capita in the United States than Denmark or Sweden. So why is that?
That's because our wealth is being concentrated at the top right now. Like, people want us to look to the left or the right when we should be looking up. The problem is up.
It's not about billionaires. I'm talking about self-made millionaires. We have more self-made. Yeah. We have more millionaires per capita than Sweden and Denmark and the Scandinavian countries. It's because our system encourages, productivity and innovation and stuff like that. And Sweden, Denmark, wherever,
Like, all of these countries have entrepreneurs and they have all, like, I don't understand what point you're making. Yeah, we have a lot of millionaires and billionaires, and the bottom 30% of our economy is like suffering, dude. When I came out of school, I worked at Burger King and it sucked. I had to work at IHOP too. I worked 2 jobs to survive. I couldn't survive for and that's the story of like tons and tons and tons of people. Like we're giving all of this, or we are setting up an infrastructure in which millionaires and billionaires can get even richer while the bottom like 30% of the country is suffering. How is that acceptable? Can we agree that we've got to fix that?
It doesn't matter if you're a millionaire or a billionaire. If you simply have tens of thousands of dollars in your bank account, or you have hundreds of thousands of dollars, your wealth is going to increase because you can invest in assets, and assets will make your net worth go up. But my friend has something to add. What is it, Dusty? Right. What do you want to say?
How do you think we should be taxing him and others like him?
Did you hear what he said, or do you want me to repeat
what was that?
It? He said, what tax rate do you think we should tax people like Elon Musk and billionaires, and how do you think we should tax people like that? And also, I can add something to it, but I'll let you respond. Go ahead.
All right. I think it's complicated with the stock market, capital gains, but I'm thinking that 15% is way too low for capital gains. I would say
20%.
What? Say again?
The highest tax rate is 20% for capital gains.
Oh, okay. I guess it changed. I thought it was 15. I would say maybe 30% for capital gains because we still want to encourage like investment. And I would say 70% on earned income in the United States, which is what it was under Dwight D. Eisenhower and a bunch of other like good Republican presidents.
Yeah, that the tax rate was 90% in the 1950s, but there was literally a million more tax loopholes back then for the wealthy. And the effective tax rate that they were paying was lower than today.
You think that there are more tax loopholes today or back then?
I mean, I was looking into the history. I was having an AI breakdown. I was reading up on it, and according, to that, maybe there are more today. It seems logical to say that there are more today, but from what I read, it said that there was more back then.
Okay.
And also 70%, you want us to have higher tax rates than Europe and any other country around the world? Okay, I mean, we live in 2025. We're going to lose all the billionaires and millionaires instantly.
Yeah. They've been saying they're leaving New York City if this person wins or if that person loses. They've been saying that for decades, and they didn't go anywhere. This is still the greatest country on earth, still the strongest economically. There's still a lot of innovation. They're not going anywhere, I promise.
Well, we have a lot of Americans pouring out to tax-free zones and just renouncing their citizenship already, like the United Arab Emirates and Dubai. I mean, if we tax them 70%, they're going to build an entire new life off their phone in like a snap of a finger. They're going to buy a house, buy a car, buy a bunch of land, put their company over there.
That's just not how it works. That's never how it ever plays out. Like billionaires have always used this excuse, I'm going to leave if you do this. If you raise my taxes and make it more reasonable so that everybody can survive and I'm not sitting on billions of dollars worth of money here. They always say that they're going to leave and then they never do. Yeah, maybe a couple pick off here or there. But at the end of the day, we need a more fair system. Like people shouldn't have to work 2 jobs, right? To survive, to pay rent.
Depends on the circumstance. You can live. There's plenty of good jobs out there with no college degree. No, you don't need to work 2 McDonald's jobs. If you're willing to pave asphalt or shovel some asphalt, you can make.
There are only so many of those. There's only so much of that because there's only so much like gross domestic product in the United States. There's only so much labor demand in the United States, and believe it or not, deporting immigrants actually makes the labor demand go down, not up, because people aren't, these undocumented immigrants, they're driving on the roads too. They're buying groceries, they're paying rent, and that money velocity is now gone when they're removed from the United States. So removing them does not open jobs the way people seem to think it does. Like, ask any economist. It's bad for the country to do mass deportations. It's bad for the economy. What?
You're going to have to give quotes, but if economists are so genius, then why does it we keep having, recessions and economic issues under every single president, and they keep saying, "Oh, I give you this advice," and they turn out to be wrong. I mean, it seems like these economists really don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Obama pulled us out of the 2009 or 2008 crisis reasonably well. It could have been a lot worse than it was. So I mean, there are some real dummies out there. Of course, absolutely, there's some real dummies out there, but the people that are in these positions in economics are really very knowledgeable and very skilled. It tends to be dummies that don't listen to like the experts that make a complete train wreck out of everything. Sign up for my Patreon. I'd really appreciate that very much. It would mean so much to me. This is like a really precarious moment in history, in US history, and for me personally. So it would mean a lot if you sign up for my Patreon. Check out cultarchive.org. I did a cult test, basically, where you can see if you're in a cult, and you can look at the historical tests of other groups that already went through this. Also, check out my merch. I have a whole bunch of really cool shirts and stuff. Really interesting. I would really appreciate that.
I mean, first off, I don't think a lot of them are such geniuses. If they're geniuses, why don't they have, businesses with hundreds of millions of dollars or billions of dollars, or why don't they have any economic success? Most of them don't even have that.
What?
And they
Who
wanna
are we
give us
talking
advice.
about? You talking about someone
I
specific?
don't know. We're talking about a bunch of different people, really.
Is this
But
that
another thing
amorphous they? Are they in the room with us right now? Like, who are we talking about? Is there an individual?
bunch of economists. I mean, you can name an economist, and I can tell you if they're, financially successful, if they manage any certain amount of large amounts of money. A lot of them don't. But going back to your point about how the billionaires haven't left yet. I mean, there's a reason they haven't left the country yet, because we haven't applied the 70% tax rate that you're, are proposing.
But the moment we do, right? Yeah, any second they're gonna leave. You just give them a reason, right? Yeah, totally.
Depends on the industry, but I mean, if they have an online business or they have an Amazon, yeah, they're going to leave.
Bro, America is still the greatest country in the world, and in a lot
I
of
understand
ways.
it has a great market, but if you make $1 million and you give $700,000 of it to the government, a lot of people.
But that's not what's going to
Like,
happen. They're going to make $1 million, and then they're going to spend that million on whatever business things that they needed to spend it on, and then they're going to get their deductions and their write-offs and everything else, and then at the end of the day, they're maybe end up with $300,000, and then that amount is going to be taxed. The profits are taxed, not the revenue. So it's not
talking about $1 million profit. That means they already paid for all the expenses of their company, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So take home pay, $1 million, taxed 70%. People aren't going to try to make $1 million in this country anymore if you're only bringing home $300,000.
Oh, come on, bro. People aren't going to try to make $1 million if they're only going to take home $300,000. Really?
They're not going to. They're not going to do that. No one in their right mind is going to do that. They're just going to give up their United States citizenship and move to a country that's more economically incentivizing.
We're in a totally different universe. People are always trying to make money.
This isn't the 1950s. We're not stuck in America anymore. We can set up a life in any other country in a click of a button.
So you think that America is just like this close to being a third world hole, then, is what you're saying?
No, it's not that it's a hole. We have a huge market. We have the biggest market in the world. I'll give us credit there. But when you take up all the profits, that's the problem there. What do people do capitalism for? Profits. They don't do it to give the government 70% of the money. And if you want us to give 70% of the money, do you think that the government is a good steward of our taxpayer dollars? Is that what you're trying to say? Because personally, if I do agree with you, I do agree with you. Billionaires should be taxed more. I don't think Jeff Bezos should be paying 0% tax. I agree with you there. But as far as taxing them 70%, you've lost me. I would tax them a bit more. Sure, some billionaires like Jeff Bezos, people that pay 0% taxes. But my ideal world would be, we have some kind of thing where they can donate directly to organizations, charities,
they already do that.
Homeless veterans. And this, it is a tax write-off sometimes, but I would make it an unlimited tax write-off.
I'm pretty sure it's unlimited. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they can just pay whatever they want to charities.
I don't know about how businesses work, but I know there's a personal limit for charity amount that you can deduct from your taxes every year.
Okay, well, so let me ask you this then. It sounds like your concern is that billionaires will go away, they'll go somewhere else. If that concern was erased, would you, and you knew for a fact they were going to stay here, would you be okay with taxing them 70%? Like, what's holding you back from that?
Because if we tax them 70%, they're probably going to hire as few employees as possible.
Why? That's a write-off. They don't pay taxes on employees or whatever, since the employees are business expenses. So that doesn't affect profit.
Is there a set amount of tax write-offs every year, or am I wrong? You can correct me.
No, you don't. I mean, Walmart writes off billions of dollars every year, and like my company writes off
Okay, that's a
thousands.
fair
So
point. But still, I think I would still not do it because it's unfair. And look at the statistics. Most millionaires are self-made millionaires. These are people that came from poverty. They don't work so hard to give, 70% of their income away to the government. And also because I don't think the government is a good stewardship of the overall taxpayer dollars in general.
well, look, the fact is we need taxes to function as a society, right? I
No,
mean,
we could probably do tariffs, or we could probably do other things. Go ahead. My friend has one more thing to say. Also, the United Arab Emirates has a zero personal tax rate for businesses and personal. It's only they
that's because of
established a new tax.
tourism and stuff. That's a complicated system that wouldn't apply in the United States.
We could make it apply. What do
We
you have to
couldn't.
say,
It just
Dusty?
doesn't have the same circumstances here.
We'll probably do a clip of this and go, and the dummy on the right believes we should have tariff taxes. But I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway. I would like to see the IRS done away with altogether when we go to tariff taxes. And I'm not talking about 100, 200% taxes. I'm talking 5, 10, tops 15% taxes. It's enough to where most people abroad in the world can eat that amount and still stay competitive in U.S. markets, and we don't get taxed.
Did you hear him or no?
I
Should
think
repeat
so.
it?
I think so. I think I got it. He's saying he wants to abolish the IRS and just go to tariffs. Is that right?
Yes, that's what he said.
The fact is, some tax systems are like the way that they work will create a system where the bottom 30% are just like that. I'm sorry. Can I swear on here?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
too
all
late
right.
now.
I'm sorry. Yeah. They're in bad shape. Like they won't be able to function because they'll have to work multiple jobs. They won't be able to afford healthcare. They won't be able to afford groceries. The bottom 30% and the top 10% will be like they'll be sitting on so much money they literally can't spend it because there's nothing to spend it on. There's so much of it. So we can create a tax system that either produces that outcome, or we can create a tax system that's a little bit more fair. Like we'll still have millionaires and billionaires, but the bottom 30% will still be able to like survive on one job, one income. They'll be able to have, good nuclear families or whatever other thing. I want a tax system that sets something like that up where we still have millionaires and the bottom 30% can still function and own a home and everything else. Now, the tariff system he just proposed will create a system where the billionaires will be sitting on so much wealth it's ridiculous, and the bottom 30% are suffering. If we have a tax system with taxes that are higher than they are right now in the United States, capital gains and income tax, then we could start to even it out and make it a little bit easier for everybody to live a good quality of life. Like my goal at the end of the day is for everybody to be happy and to survive and not suffer. I want to reduce suffering.
I 100% agree. I have a couple ideas, but I don't understand, how that's going to hurt the bottom class if they're paying no taxes and it's just a very small tariff. But here's another idea.
It's not. It's
How
like a
about this?
sales
We don't
tax.
tax
It's the problem.
anyone on the bottom 30%. We don't tax anyone on the bottom 30%. We have a flat rate tax for everyone, that's upper middle class and whatnot. A flat rate tax, no tax deductions, nothing, just a flat 10% tax rate. I think that's also, a good idea. But here's another idea. How about no taxes? I mean, Trump proposed this. I don't think it's going to happen, but if it did happen, I'd be a big fan. No taxes for, under people making under 150,000 a year or under 200,000 a year, because it sounds like a lot of money, but in California or LA, it's like, be barely just getting by, especially if you have a family or kids or something like that.
I mean, I think that like we can look at other places that have done that, and we can look at like, history and see how that's turned out, and it has not turned out the way that people thought it would. It turns out to favor filthy rich people at the end of the day. Like, yeah, I guess it would be great if like the bottom, certain percentage didn't pay taxes, but they don't really already, since under a certain amount you pay in your taxes with your paycheck or whatever, and then you get it back at the end of the day. So that's kind of the system we already have. But the government needs to be able to function still in society. Like we still have to repair roads and bridges, and we still have to like run, pay congressmen or whatever. And the system that we have set up currently is getting us closer to a fair system where everybody is successful and thriving. It's getting us closer to that than like an all tariff system would, or a flat tax system would, or a VAT tax like the UK has. Like the VAT tax is awful. We could just look at how this affects
They
people.
also pay income tax too.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
speaking about how history and stuff like that, if you want to talk about how that doesn't work historically, I mean, we can also talk about how like millions of people that are making money in the UK are leaving every single year because of, high taxes. I think they have the biggest millionaire exodus of any country right now, the United Kingdom. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're paying around 60% over there. If you're making, a few million or $1 million a year or something like that, you're paying 60%. Everyone in the UK is leaving and going to Dubai, going to Monaco, going to all these low tax havens.
but
and
if the
setting up
companies
their-
want to operate in the country, then they have to be registered there and they have to be paying taxes there. The billionaires just are not going to leave. It's just, that's not how anything works. Like, people have families where they live. People have communities, and they have, ties to these areas, and people just don't leave. Like, yeah, okay, maybe 5 millionaires have left, or 20 or something. We have like 18,000 millionaires in the United States or something. And we have how many billion? Hundreds of billionaires, I think, or something in the United States. They're not all going to leave. And if they do, their companies aren't leaving. We're a big market.
I think we have 700 billionaires in the United States, and I think there's around maybe I think it's get how many? Maybe 1,800 billionaires in the world. 1,800, or it's less than 3,000.
Well,
There's a lot of tax revenue off the rich, and also the majority of taxes are already paid by the rich. I mean, the majority of people
as it
that
should be.
into the system are, like if you're talking about, even if we talk about people that are just making over like 150 grand a year, if we include everyone making that much and more, it's like 85-90% of all the taxes are coming from them.
Yeah, it should be. Of course. I mean, the bottom 30% don't have the money to pay, like, to pay most of the taxes. Of course, most of it should be coming from millionaires and billionaires. Where else would it come from?
I agree with you on that. I'm just pointing it out that, they're already pulling the tax system.
All right, well, I have to get out of here. I have a couple of other segments I have to do, but we're going to set this up. Oh, it's just, I've got your email. Right. I got the one you sent me, and we'll figure out the StreamYard thing, okay?
Thank you for coming on. And
right.
My friend says thank you for coming on as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming on my show. I'll talk to you later on, all right?
Talk to you. Peace.
All right. All right. That was interesting, actually. That was pretty good. That was constructive discourse. I appreciate him talking. It was interesting. We'll be right back. Don't forget to check out my Patreon. Also, take a look at my website, owenmorgan.com. I just finished writing a book titled Was Hitler an Atheist? It talks about religions during the Third Reich and how they work together. Catholics, Jehovah's Witnesses, and Protestants. And I even address the lies told by the evangelical world about Bonhoeffer. It's on Audible and Amazon. All right. Let's hit another caller. You're on the line. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How you doing?
I'm doing well. So are you MAGA?
I'm kind of like neither. I have family who is.
Okay.
I was in. I mean, I'm not neither, but I believe in this country for what it's worth.
Okay.
I mean, freedom for all and a fair shot at liberty and happiness.
Yeah.
But I really don't think like we have like a left in America. Really don't think that. No, because I really don't think Obama was a Democrat. Because he ran on ending the wars. Never did, and then he just built up the system that now Trump is using on us.
I think that Bush probably really built up the system that's being used on us more than Obama, but
he started it. Bush started that whole Patriot Act.
Yeah.
With 9/11 using that thing. But Obama, he ran on ending both of the wars. He ran on that.
That's true. He did. I agree, and I want to get rid of the wars as well. And I'm glad that we were pulled out of Afghanistan and everything else. However, I tend to lean toward maybe it's more complicated than it seems.
Those wars have built up this system that we have today that Trump is just using like.
It's true.
Like willy-nilly, man. Well, he is really using the system that and it was crazy because Trump has always been on a Democrat until he flipped, and then it's crazy because MAGA is not even. I don't even think they're conservatives. I think they're just a whole other different mindset.
Yes, they're fascists, not conservative, but fascists for sure.
Yeah, because he's you doing things that if Biden were doing them, or I don't know if you remember when Obama was supposedly doing like Jade Helm and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Everybody
I
was
remember.
freaking out, but now Trump, he's doing worse, and you can see it, and everybody is just not even caring. And then with these wars now, that's why the economy is getting bad too, because we got to build all this military tech, and it's costing more money to build it, and they can't really hide the inflation, because that's why I said Obama should end the wars, because that spent so much money. It spent so much of our treasury and so much of our time thinking about something that didn't exist.
I agree. And Obama definitely did a lot of drone attacks and stuff, and it was not good. I 100% agree. The thing is, like in Germany in the 30s, there was, fascism was on the rise, and, whether people want to admit it or not, fascism is here as well in the United States now. That's just what it is. And fascists took root in Germany and other places, like even after World War II, because the left didn't unify at the time. Like, communists viewed the Social Democrats in Germany as more dangerous than the Nazis, instead of unifying and doing a grassroots effort against the Nazis. And that's what MAGA is trying to do now, is create a war between different left-wing
the divide
sections.
and conquer.
Yes.
Divide and conquer. Yeah, like a Hegelian dialect. I wonder how we can use what we know in history to make, because that there is a right population there that doesn't like control and
Right.
can see it if it's properly identified. But how do you think we can do that with this, with the Jimmy Kimmel thing, when he really didn't even say anything? You realize that, right? He just showed a video of what Trump said. And that's going to be the scary thing, because I don't know if you noticed, but Trump in his last term, he wrote a directive where anything that comes out of war zones is, and you already saw it with Hegseth now in his Trump, in his second term, that you have to go through the Pentagon. And during his first term, he wrote that casualties have to be authorized to be put out on the news. And I don't know if you remember when George W. Bush's time, they didn't want to release them. And it was, thank God, that we had journalists who were going out and reporting those casualties. And I don't know if you know a news organization called the 700 Club. They're a big evangelical part. Yeah, they're huge. Their main news reporter was trying to argue it was against the, not only law, but treasonous for them to report casualties. That's terrifying.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. And in Germany, again, I keep going back to that because we are in a fascist government now. At the time, there was a cult of personality around Hitler in the exact same way that we see a cult of personality around Donald Trump. That's part of fascism. Cult of personalities form around the person, and it makes them scandal proof. And when they become scandal proof, they can do literally anything, and that's where we are now. But I'll tell you,
but in today's world with today's technology, because during the Battle of Stalingrad, a lot of German people really thought that they were still getting reports from the Sixth Army when the Sixth Army was already surrounded and nothing could get out. I wonder in today's time, you think if anything serious militarily wise could happen, do you really think that can be swept under?
No, I don't think so. Not anymore. Our media landscape is just completely different now. It would be a lot harder for them to hide everything. And
you think we could use that to what is that word, to help us out in pushing that we need free press. We need more. We don't need this censor. We don't need this control, because if we don't have the proper information, then it endangers us because of the lack of knowledge. If we're really gonna take these extreme steps like military war and everything, with people who are not really think through. And that's what I see, is they're just going off of it seems like vibes. If you've seen those last two speeches, it just seems like vibes.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm also disturbed by the fact that during Charlie Kirk's memorial, they literally plagiarized Joseph Goebbels. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to move on to the next caller, and I appreciate the call.
Thank you. You have a good night, okay?
All right, you too. Interesting. Sign up for my Patreon. I'd really appreciate that very much. It would mean so much to me. This is like a really precarious moment in history, in U.S. history, and for me personally. So it would mean a lot if you sign up for my Patreon. Check out cultarchive.org. I did a cult test, basically, where you can see if you're in a cult, and you can look at the historical tests of other groups that already went through this. Also, check out my merch. I have a whole bunch of really cool shirts and stuff. Really interesting. I would really appreciate that. All right, well, we got another. You're on the air. Do you support MAGA?
Hey, Owen. Unfortunately, I do not support MAGA. I'm not a MAGAtanian. I'm sorry you've been getting a lot of calls that are, more so agreeing, but I actually do kind of have a disagreement with you, and I want you to educate me because I know you know your shit a lot more.
Okay, well, lay it on me.
So
what do we got?
What makes you think that we would have a Nuremberg 2.0 kind of thing in this country with our current two-party system that we have now?
Well, the thing is, we have, all right, in Germany, they had Spruchkammer courts. Nuremberg was for, like, arch criminals. And I don't know that we're going to have a Nuremberg type of thing because that was like, that was an international criminal court. But Spruchkammer courts were local courts. They were like a mix of like courts and town halls almost. And everybody had to fill out a questionnaire and everything. It was like a systematized thing where everybody has to go through this process of like answering for how supportive they were of the system. And that's pretty, that's pretty involved in its own right. I believe that we're going to see something like that because I see it signaled by the party. I see it from Eric Swalwell, who recently said we're going to have a presidential crimes commission after Trump leaves office. I see it from J.B. Pritzker. He said they're hiding their faces because, ICE, because they know that, like, Trump isn't going to be around forever. And, Democrats going to take control again at some point. And ICE knows that, too. And that is why they're hiding their faces.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's good. I was just going to say those are establishment Democrats. Those aren't, like, left-wing, whatever. And also, we see one more thing, and then I'll let you go. Then I'll let you talk. Also, we see every election that's taken place since Trump won, every single one has flipped districts, like solidly red districts where Trump won by like 5%, went like 10, 15% toward Democrats. There is a groundswell of support for accountability, the likes of which I have never seen in my entire life, ever. So that's why I think.
Well, Owen, I really hope you're right. The way that I'm seeing it right now, it just seems like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, in Nazi Germany, Hitler's regime was able to kind of wiggle its way into power. And I feel like, the administration before Hitler, they put him in as chancellor, right?
Yeah, he lost his election, and then they chose, and then the president who did win put him in as chancellor, yeah.
Yeah, and you give a fascist an inch, they take a mile, like you've always said.
Yep.
Well, that's the thing. The neoliberals at the time were more willing to work with the fascists because they believe in this whole civility bullshit. And I feel like that's what's going on with the modern Democratic Party to a T. And my fear is that the Democrats are going to continue this status quo bullshit that they've been doing, where they get back in and they continue to move further right because they're more concerned with maintaining the status quo than they are actual progress. And I like what Gavin Newsom's been doing, even though I think he's a fucking sociopath.
Mm-hmm.
My fear is just that we're just going to get a Gavin Newsom running for president. And I don't see Democrats pulling this off because I feel like this might sound kind of doomer, and maybe you can, again, educate me here. I feel like this is the end of our republic, hands down. I think they're going to create a one-party system. They're going to dismantle the democratic institutions. They're already talking about doing it, and the Democrats are basically doing dick. They're just sitting there with their... It's pissing me off. Like
they are doing nothing.
Jeffries
absolutely.
Talk about civility and how we need to build bridges and all this. You can't build bridges with these people.
Absolutely.
And I keep trying to explain this to people who are vote blue no matter who types because they have this like false sense of security. That, oh no, Kamala's going to run again. Gavin Newsom's going to run. We're going to come back stronger than ever. And we're like pretending like it's still the year 1992. And that we're not dealing with. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little hyperbolic here.
No. I totally agree. I totally understand, and I'm right there with you. However, I have seen signs that the Democrats are not like that anymore. I mean, like I said, with J.B. Pritzker, with Eric Swalwell, and in Germany, like they were split up, and there's a lot of apathy and everything. And there's certainly apathy here, but there's more rage here than apathy, as far as I can tell, from people like me and you and others. And the No Kings protest is evidence of that. Just one example. I think that I feel like they turned the heat all the way up on the frog, and we all watched it unfold. And I think that this cult of personality that is like necessary for fascism to exist is going to go away when Trump, kicks it peacefully in his bed, God willing, at the age of 103. I'm just saying, when it happens, they're all f***ed. All of them, every single one, all the way up and down. You don't? Why?
I feel like they're just going to double down on the hatred. I feel like Trump is going to leave open that power vacuum. Sure, they're going to be looking for another. They're probably going to create a religion out of Trump for sure.
Oh,
He's going to become a martyr regardless. If he dies of old age, they're going to just pretend that he was killed by a leftist or something. And then my fear is someone like Stephen Miller is going to take the mantle.
But he's not popular.
A lot more dangerous.
He's not popular. The thing is, with fascism, they need a cult of personality that is scandal-proof. And J.D. Vance is not scandal-proof. Stephen Miller, they are not scandal-proof like Donald Trump. He could literally shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and not lose any voters. But that's not the case for Stephen Miller or anybody else. Like, Trump is uniquely positioned to control MAGA in a way that nobody else could step in and do. And, this is a problem that exists in dictatorships that they tried to correct for. Look at Kim Jong-il, like taking his kid, Kim Jong-un, out into public for like years leading up to that, introducing him to diplomats and building it up and creating this cult of personality and claiming that he also shot, a par 30 on 18 holes or whatever, and that he doesn't like use the bathroom at all and that kind of thing. They did that because they need that scandal-proof, godlike perception to exist, or that cult of personality will not coagulate around it. And Donald Trump is too full of himself to allow for something like that. I mean, I could see him doing it for one of his kids, but he's just not, and he never has. He's too self-centered. So I think that that's going to work in our favor, and I don't think that they have any chance. I think Pam Bondi, I think Elon Musk and Stephen Miller and all of them and every single ICE agent that was involved in this is going to spend the rest of their lives in prison, in my opinion.
Or when he dies, Elon will probably just make a fucking AI version of him for everyone to worship or something.
Yeah, probably. Anyway.
Anyways, I know I'm going to let you take some more calls. Hopefully you get a Magatopian. I know they're not around very often, but I really appreciate the work you do, Mr. Morgan. I'm going to check out your book. Okay. You're very insightful. I listen to you all the time. So you have a wonderful day, all right?
Yeah, thank you. I'll talk to you later on then.
Yep, bye-bye.
Interesting, yeah. I think it's a matter of time. And I've even seen those signals from Gavin Newsom, to be fair, that Democrats are not going to allow this to go away. They're not going to allow it. There is a fundamental shift when people watched ICE go into inner cities and zip tie children. Do you know that happened recently? ICE zip tying children, if you're watching 5 years in the future. Putting handcuffs on children, little toddlers, literally toddlers. Do you know the Turner Diaries? I did a video on the Turner Diaries. It's considered the most dangerous book in the world because it was intended to spark a race war. And every time there's some major shooter or some major attacker of some sort, Timothy McVeigh or, with the Oklahoma City bombing or whoever, they always have a copy of the Turner Diaries with them. And that's in part because the Turner Diaries explains how to build a bomb in it and how to counterfeit money. Now, the money thing is a little outdated now that we have like printers and the way they work and everything else, but how to build a bomb will be valid forever, right? I think it's like chapter 9 or something, 7, 9. Timothy McVeigh had a copy of that chapter printed out in his truck when he was pulled over after blowing up like that building in Oklahoma City. And the first chapter of the Turner Diaries is establishing the justification for a race war. And the justification that it laid down was exactly what ICE is doing right now. They tell this fictional story about how blacks and Jews go into white people's homes and take their guns and take them away and separate them from their children and send their children to jail and everything else. That's chapter 1. And ICE is literally doing that. They are literally reenacting chapter 1 of the Turner Diaries right now. The far right's justification for civil war. If that doesn't chill you to the bone, I don't know what will. If this doesn't chill you to the bone, I don't know what will.
Apoplectic right now. The reason that so many anchors on MSNBC, for example, are losing their minds daily is because our side is winning. And so I come full circle in this response and just want to encourage you with some substance that we are in the process of the Second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be.
If that doesn't chill you to the bone, I don't know what will. Anyway, tell me what you think about it in the comments. We'll be right back. Don't forget to check out my Patreon. Also, take a look at my website, owenmorgan.com. I just finished writing a book titled Was Hitler an Atheist? It talks about religions during the Third Reich and how they work together. Catholics, Jehovah's Witnesses, and Protestants. And I even address the lies told by the evangelical world about Bonhoeffer. It's on Audible and Amazon. There's this weird, like, pro-Charlie Kirk song that this evangelical made. Listen to this.
What if you were martyred for telling the truth in a world full of lies?
What if you were martyred for telling the truth in a world full of lies? They
shot Charlie in the neck, they pierced Jesus on his side.
They shot Charlie in the neck, they pierced Jesus on the side.
Say, love is hate and hate is love, and there was never God above, and they just might kill me for breaking up their fake news, but dying for truth, it's the only way to go. And so, what if I don't lose if it's heaven that's my home?
God, you know, honestly, such a wasted talent, like a wasted, decent voice, right? Dude has a decent voice, it seems like, to me. And it's a damn shame that he is wasting it on garbage.
It's Christ, it's my end, and it's Christ, it's my goal. And I'm losing the world, but I'm gaining my soul.
Losing the world, but gaining my soul. Okay. Like I said, it sounded like a decent voice. Not awful. Could be worse, right? I don't know if you guys remember, but there was this song about Elon Musk a while back. I extracted the vocals, so let's just listen to this woman sing about how great Elon Musk is. This is before he pissed off Trump and everybody hated him again. Wait, I thought I removed the maybe it does have the music to it.
He gave us cars that drive so fast, made rockets built to blast. Oh, thank you, Elon Musk. He took over Twitter's reign. He saved free speech for all.
Took over Twitter's reign and saved free speech for all.
Eliminating woke pain.
Eliminating woke pain.
SpaceX flies, Tesla self-drive, Starlink beams with laser dreams. He's got a master plan for our lives.
You know what confuses the hell out of me? I'm sorry, dude. This is so bad. It confuses the hell out of me when people think that like Elon Musk and Donald Trump, the Capitol owners, are down there on the ground with like safety glasses and beakers, like running tests themselves personally. It's just bizarre, dude. Like how these people view the world is so confusing to me. Elon Musk created PayPal with Peter Thiel, and from that moment on had enough money necessary to engage in all kinds of other ventures, which good for him, I suppose. Great. That doesn't mean he's a what do you call it? Like a rocket scientist? He's not a rocket scientist. He's not a rocket scientist. He's not a programmer that wrote like self-driving anything. He's none of these things. But somehow gullible suckers fell for it. I don't understand.
Let's occupy Mars. Let's occupy Mars. And making kids to keep mankind alive. Neuralink is on the way. Boring tunnels save the day.
Boring tunnels saved the day. Because he was boring tunnels under LA? Okay.
Oh, thank you, Elon Musk. Fighting fights for freedom's sake. Politics, he's not afraid. He won't just sit and watch. SpaceX flies, Tesla self-drive, Starlink beams with laser dream.
It's so fucking stupid, dude. Oh my god, it's painful. It's so fucking stupid.
He's got a master plan for our lives. One more kid, one more brand.
God, one more kid, one more brand. Imagine saying that shit about Elon Musk. You know she wants to have his kid, right?
Launching rockets with just one hand. Optimus, Cybercat 2. What can this man do? It's taxes, fraud, some solid memes. Corruption won't stay.
Just a reminder, I would really appreciate it if you guys checked out my Patreon. If you're not going to donate, you don't have to, but follow me there at the very least. owenmorgan.com/Patreon. Just in case something happens with the government or whatever. It would be really good if you had some way to connect with me and my content. I'm really concerned about that. And maybe you should consider that for other creators too. You know, Elon Musk is like a master of defrauding people. Taking advantage of gullible suckers. That's his whole MO. It always has been. And it confuses the shit out of me to see people portraying him like he's a rocket scientist. Like, what?
And Doge saving USA.
Doge is saving USA. Literally breaking the law, bypassing Congress, destroying the Constitution. And they're saving the USA. Totally. Absolutely.
So here's to you, our tech tycoon, saving Earth and Mars real soon. We thank you, Elon Musk. One more kid, one more brand, launching rockets with just one hand. Optimus, cyber.
Yeah, that right there. That was the thing I was talking about. Like this thing where this robot was serving drinks. I'm pretty sure that was just fake. I can feasibly see this working today, but at the time it was out of the question, and Tesla was not even on the cutting edge of that market at the time anyway. Yeah, like people hitting the Cybertruck with hammers. Like, why do I give a shit if you can hit the side of my fucking truck with a hammer and, like, destroy it or whatever? I don't. I want my vehicle to have crumple zones so that I don't die if I get in a car accident. I'd rather it not be rigid, as a matter of fact.
Oh, thank you, Elon Musk.
So incredibly, deeply cringy. It is painfully stupid, dude. What is with MAGA and doing weird songs constantly? This is Laura Trump.
Hey, we're all out of luck. No, this can't be denied. You gotta be special. It takes a lot to put you last and everybody first.
If you know anything about music, you know that that was dog shit. That was bad. Don't quit your day job, Laura. In fact, actually do quit your day job, please. I would really love it if you simultaneously stopped fucking our lives up and also went broke at the same time. That would be great. Please quit your day job. Anyway, I don't know what's up with these people, but they're fucking weird. Tell me what you think about it in the comments. That's all I've got for you. If you like what I do and you want to see me continue to do it, don't forget to check me out on Patreon. I just finished writing a book titled Was Hitler an Atheist? It talks about religions during the Third Reich and how they work together. Catholics, Jehovah's Witnesses, and Protestants. And I even address the lies told by the evangelical world about Bonhoeffer. It's on Audible and Amazon. Okay, thanks for watching, guys.